Herman Narula is a British Indian businessman and the co-founder and CEO of Improbable Worlds Limited, a British multinational technology company founded in 2012. Its current estimated worth is about $1 billion. It makes distributed simulation software for video games and corporate use. Herman Narula has created Spatial OS. It's a software used for developers and gaming studios like Midwinter Entertainment, Clang Games, and NetEase Games. Herman Narula was born in Delhi, India in April 1988 and studied at Girton College in Cambridge, where he studied computer science.
Mr. Narula starts his TED Talk by noting how some of the largest and most impactful changes stem from ideas or entities that we never suspect to have such capabilities. He uses examples like Facebook when it was just used by college students in dorm rooms to share pictures, or cryptocurrency before it impacted the world's economic systems. Mr. Narula believes that within the next 5 years, video games will bring a great change to our society in the same magnitude as these past examples. 2.6 billion people already play video games, which has increased by 1 billion in the last 5 years alone. And Mr. Narula points out that no entity, not even religion or other forms of media, has spread that fast. He then asks the audience what they think the average American gamer age is, suspecting that people would guess young, like 6, 12, or 18. However, he points out that the average American gamer is age 34, signifying that video games have grown beyond children and that video games are an entertainment to be enjoyed by all ages. The capabilities of video games have been limited despite massive growth and development in recent years. The vast landscapes of some current games are seen as a quote-unquote treadmill, where you can see what's in front of you and move around in the world, but the world itself is not really alive. What you don't see around your vision isn't truly there. There are parts in front of you that appear, while the parts you're not in vanish. From recent developments in the past years, we now have the technology to exceed the limits of video games known previously. We can weave together thousands of separate machines into a single real-time simulation world with the possibility of massive-scale global events. He notes some of the games that are currently in development now. These games can simulate the weather. They allow players to co-create structures in a world that never vanishes, and even a game that models an entire planet, with millions of non-player characters at a size that is nearly incomprehensible. The possibilities of where this technology can lead us is staggering, opening up many possibilities of virtual realities. Technology that can support these ideas will allow hundreds of thousands to millions of people occupying the same space. And this gives us the opportunity to build and create with more people than ever before. The possibilities are nearly endless. Mr. Narula states that the experiences possible at this type of scale will allow us as a species to reimagine what it means to be an individual. In other words, he'll let us redefine our common standards for what it means to be a person. He states in his TED Talk that we inside are all multiple people, and that we rarely get the opportunity to flex that. Through technology such as this, we can build and maintain a diverse set of personal identities. This allows us to experiment with the physical and personality traits that we weren't born with, as in, this will let us get to step inside other people's shoes and see things from their perspective. He uses a personal story to exemplify how this technology would strengthen the relationships between people and bring us to a greater bond together. He tells of his grandmother, and he jokes that all of her stories take place between the 1940s and the 1950s, and that he has nothing in common with her at all. But a gaming experience where we can co-inhabit and co-experience together allows us to build bonds with people who otherwise we would struggle to connect with. He then talks about and notes how social media has amplified our many differences and made us who we are in the presence of other people. Narula believes gaming of this magnitude would allow us to emphasize again the shared adversity and shared opportunities amongst people to quote-unquote use a social muscle that we've forgotten about for a long time by connecting so many people together at once in the same common area. This technology also has immense economic opportunities for the future of video games. Currently, thousands of people already have full-time jobs earning an income playing video games. At the current rate of growth, we could soon reach to millions of people playing video games as full-time jobs. He closes his TED Talk by talking about how the downsides of this advancement will only be amplified by our cynicism. Narula strives for us to all take part in this and to come together before massive corporations get a handle on it first. To quote him, he says the worst thing we could do is let the same 4 or 5 companies dominate yet another adjacent space. If we all engage into this technology as a society, we can define the rules and set our own course for the advancement of virtual worlds before large corporations have immense control over them.
So in conclusion, Herman Narula believes that we are going to experience one of the biggest changes to the way that we live our lives, the way that we are educated, and possibly the way that we make money. And that change is going to be brought upon by video games. The first question that we thought of after listening to Herman Narula's TED Talk is, can you see video games changing our educational system? I know there are a lot of educational video games out there for children, such as Math Blaster, The Oregon Trail, and Big Brain Academy, but these are nothing new. Do you truly expect the system to change to fit educational video games? Secondly, do you believe what Herman Narula is selling? Can video games really change the way that we see our individual selves and relationships? Can video games really bridge the gap between generations? And lastly, Herman Narula talked about all the positive sides of massive online multiplayer games, but what are some of the negative sides of what he is saying in this TED Talk?